Today, we're diving into the world of jackpots, a key attraction in gaming that remains both powerful and challenging for operators. We'll look at why operators want them, why they're often expensive or hard to run, and how a new generation of tools is trying to change that. To help us unpack all of this, we're joined by Alex Tomic, co-founder of Alea, an expert in casino platform innovation, and Charlotte Lecomte, Alea's co-founder and chief product officer, who specializes in user experience and product strategy in gaming. Together, they've developed a new jackpot engine integrated into the Alea Play platform. Alex, Charlotte, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having us, Cyrielle.
Alex, since you're a familiar voice on the podcast and it's Charlotte's first time, can you introduce her to us?
Yes, with pleasure. So Charlotte and myself, we met in 2010, if I'm not mistaken. You were an intern
Yes.
in a company that was run by a friend, and I was renting a small desk there because I couldn't work remotely. I couldn't work from my own apartment. I needed to go somewhere and have colleagues that were not my colleagues because they were working on their project, on their company, and I was completely an alien there. But I could speak to people at the coffee machine, and you were sitting in front of me.
Yep.
I remember we didn't speak for 4 months, and one day we started talking together and said, this girl is smart, and you were finishing your internship, and we offered you a job in our first company with my ex-business partner. It was not Alea yet. And then when we founded Alea in 2012, we moved to Barcelona. You followed us as a product owner. And I remember...
Actually, no, I was a developer at that time.
You were a developer.
Yes.
You became product owner. And then you became... No, project manager, sorry, then product owner, right?
No, product owner right away.
Product owner, and then head of product and chief of product. This was what we call between us the old Alea, 2012, 2020. 2020, I've split it with my ex-business partner. He took the B2C operation, which was Slots Million. And with Charlotte, we refunded the new Alea in June 2020, taking the in-house aggregator we had developed for Slots Million and deciding to make it a B2B product that we are going to sell to the industry. We had nothing, to be honest. And on my side, I would never have started this journey without her. And I couldn't have started it psychologically, emotionally. I was the breakup was hard with my ex-business partner, and on the other side, because I would say that Charlotte was the only person that I trusted at whether it's at a professional level or at a personal level.
What a success story from intern to co-founder, really.
Yes, definitely.
How many years did it take you?
I think it's been in total maybe 14 years.
14 years that you've been with Alea.
Well, with Alex.
With Alex.
2000 or more. 2010, 2000, we're almost 2016.
True. Yeah, I'm counting
2015.
Barcelona, so it's true that it started before
15 years,
Yeah.
and in Alea, 2012. So you followed us from France to Spain,
Barcelona.
2012 till now. So it's 12 more years. 12 years, sorry, in Alea, 13 years. Okay, I'm losing myself.
I think it's 15.
Great. Alex, let's jump right into the jackpots topic. That's why we're here today. Jackpots have been a favorite with players for so many years. But from an operator's perspective, what are the main challenges when it comes to costs involved with jackpots today?
So you're right to say that the jackpot is one of the... I mean, you didn't say it this way, but jackpot is one of the main acquisition and retention tool in our industry. And I remember when we started Alea and we did a benchmark, and we've asked a lot of people in the industry, what do you think we should develop first? Jackpot. Everybody was telling the same thing. And there are the aggregators that have Jackpot. And we didn't want to develop a Jackpot. We didn't want to develop the Jackpot because we wanted to continue doing what we do, which is APIs. All right. So
you didn't follow the trend at the time.
We wanted a Jackpot, but we didn't want to develop it ourselves. It's, for example, like the bonus abuse tool. We were thinking about Greco, which is a great company, and they integrate into Fast Track. We wanted to integrate them. We wanted basically to integrate a lot of tools and have a marketplace. The problem is, and when we talk with Charlotte, is that I'm not talking about Greco, yeah? These tools are never reaching our expectations. So I've invested back in time in Blue Ribbon, the first jackpot tool that was acquired by DraftKings. We didn't have the time to integrate in our B2C operations, Slots Minion, because they were acquired by DraftKings. Then Beyond Play came out. I invested in Beyond Play. We started integration in Alea, sold to FanDuel. It's interesting if you think about it. 5 years after, same valuation, around 25 mil, sell to the competitor of DraftKings, FanDuel. So why these fantasy league companies bought a jackpot tool and took it away from the market and use it internally? That's a mystery to me, to be honest. So then we start looking at other tools on the market. And first of all, they were outrageously expensive and the features were very poor. So when I say outrageously expensive, we're talking, for example, about 20K monthly fee plus 10 cents per thousands of transactions or something like that. I don't remember how many. I think we do 20,000 transactions per second on Alea's platform. 20,000 transactions per second. And I'm talking about 10 cents per thousands of transactions, which would mean 20 times 10 cents.
Very lucrative.
20 times 10 cents, Charlotte?
Yes, exactly.
20 times 10 cents. Okay, I'm going to say 20 times 10 cents is €2 per second if all of our transactions were going through the jackpot. €2 per second, okay?
Huge.
On top of the 20K. And Charlotte, I will let you talk about it. The features are very poor. I'm not going to name anyone, neither shame. So we've looked at basically all of them. So it's easy. And none of them were reaching our expectations. So we decided to develop our own tool.
Charlotte, why did you think now was the right time to rethink jackpot solutions?
Well, to be honest, we have been meaning, as Alex says, to implement a jackpot solution for quite some time. And the idea was to go for an external tool. And this, we started the process several years ago, in fact. But as we couldn't find any, well, actually, we found two types, let's say, of products on the market. You had the products that were quite advanced, but very expensive, like really very expensive. And some products that were much less expensive, but that were very, very shallow. Really not even reaching the bare minimum. And I was myself very surprised because some of those are names that I got from the industry. People told me, these guys, they have a jackpot, you should check it out. I hear it's pretty good. And checking it out, I was very surprised to see that it lacked a lot of things. And we reached a conclusion, I think it was last year. Clients were really asking us for a jackpot solution. And we had to make the decision and okay, are we going for our own? Because if we can't find a good one, is it maybe the time that we make it ourselves? And now that we have Alea Play that is fully mature and has already all the engine that can allow to do this kind of thing, we thought, let's do it.
And you decided to embed the jackpot directly in the platform in Alea Play. Can you walk us through?
Yes. So this was a long discussion at the board level in particular because We could have created Alea, the Jackpot as an external engine, or put it internally in Alea Play engine. There's a difference in business model there, is that making it an external tool would allow us to sell it to anybody. Whereas if it's within Alea Play, it means we can only give it to our own customers. And so there were basically, around the board table, there were people for and against each of those solutions.
What made you decide to go
We
with
decided to
one
do
rather than the
it
other?
within Alea Play, and I was one of those that really wanted to put it inside the Alea Play engine, because technically it changes everything to have it inside the Alea Play engine. Because if you manage the jackpot in the same engine, without entering in too much technical detail, if you manage the jackpots in the same engine as your transactions, you have consistency, you manage rollbacks, you manage retries, and you have much more anti-fraud capabilities that if you're handling the jackpot as an external product. Because then, if it's external, it's not synchronized with the data that you have of your wallets. And that was basically the decision we made.
How does your approach simplify day-to-day management?
That's one of the objectives I gave to the product team, was we need to create a product that client can trust, basically. That when they're... I don't want to create a tool that is so complicated, so complex, that people are not sure when they configure something that is going to do what they think it's going to do. And in particular, it's not just for the jackpot, but as a general rule, I think all the tools that are CRMs in general, as the marketing team is investing the budget, they need to make sure that they're going to meet their ROI, and they need to make sure that the campaign is going to do what they think it's going to do. So we really thought all the jackpot interface to make it as crystal clear as possible to our customers. And we also developed something that I haven't seen anywhere on the market, which is a simulator that basically allows the casino operator to anticipate how the jackpot's going to behave, and over 1,000 trial, for example, the average ranges that they're going to get, in average, how often it's going to fall, and so on and so forth. So this should give all the tools to the casino operators so they can safely and confidently manage jackpots.
And risk management is crucial with jackpots due to their potentially large payouts. Alex, what tools or methods do operators have to balance player excitement with cost control?
I would like Charlotte to answer that question, actually. I think you have much more knowledge than I have about that specific point, actually.
When using jackpots, you're facing two types of risks. One risk is technological, and the other one is more operational. The typical operational risks that a casino operator is facing is going to be typically collusion, player collusion. So this is more frequent, let's say, with jackpots that are must-hit by type of jackpots. The type of jackpot where you'd set, for example, a jackpot is going to fall before 15,000 euro, and players would swarm the jackpot when it's at the point where the probability to fall is increased a lot. And in the end, it's not going to be your regular players that are going to be more likely to get the jackpot. It's going to be whichever colluded players just coming for that opportunity. Mm-hmm. And those are not real players. They're not going to re-spend the winnings on your casino. They're just going to withdraw it.
The larger the payout, the more risk.
And also the more risk, because you're attracting this kind of profile. If you just have like a small amount jackpot, of course, it's less attractive to players, but you also have less visibility on player rings. Then another type of risk that you're facing when you manage jackpots, it's the technological risk. Typically, the jackpot basically works in two mechanisms. On the one end, you have, for progressive jackpots, the increase of the jackpot pool that goes with every contribution that players are putting by betting. And the other mechanic is the payout of the jackpot. So what you want to make sure of is that you only increase the pool of the jackpot when the bet of the player is committed. And in a lot of API integrations, it's very difficult to identify when a bet is committed, because until the round is settled, there's always a possibility to cancel a bet. So imagine this, you would have players that intentionally grow the pool of the jackpot by putting bets and then canceling those bets. But the jackpot engine wouldn't be able to know that the bet has been canceled, and then the pot of the jackpot would keep increasing while the players are always canceling their bets. So this is something that's very important to take in consideration.
What kind of tools are there that can help with this?
Well, in this case, the fact that the jackpot engine is built within Alea Play allows us to know the status of a round, to know whether or not it is committed. And very simply, if we receive a cancellation for a bet, then we also revert the contribution we've added to the pot, which is something that's very difficult to achieve for other products that are external. Because at least in those APIs that I've seen when doing the benchmark, a lot of them do not take rollbacks in consideration. So that means they only get a notification when a bet is happening, the pot is increasing, and at no point they're decreasing the pot because of rollbacks, which is a big problem. Because if players realize this, they can trick this. There are plenty of games that allow you to put a bet and then cancel your bet, and do this repeatedly. You could even do it with a bot. I'm thinking in particular live games where you have 10 or 15 seconds to place a bet. And you were waiting that you're done putting your tokens, for example, in live roulette or things like this. And after those 15 seconds, the round is starting. This, behind the scene in the API, when the player is putting the token on the table, a bet is taking place in the server. Therefore, the jackpot pool will be increasing. Then, if before the round starts, that is, before the timer reaches the end, the player removes his bet, that's a rollback. So virtually the player hasn't spent any cents, but the jackpot pool is increased. So that's one of the first things that need to be taken care of, is making sure that the pot cannot be artificially increased by players. The other one, the other aspect of the jackpots, besides the pool the increment of the pool, that would be the payout. You want to make sure that a player who's winning the jackpot is a player that has committed his bet, and not just committed his bet, but you don't want a player to be able, with a similar mechanic but slightly different, being able to put an artificial bet that he's going to cancel and do this repeatedly, but be able to win with bets that they cancel. So imagine that I'm placing bet canceling, placing bet canceling, placing bet canceling, and at one point I place the bet and I get the win of the jackpot. That bet, I let the commit go because I understand that I need this bet to be committed in order to get my payout. But that would be dramatic because that means the player can attempt for free to win. And once he knows he's winning...
And if everyone's doing this, what happens? If they all behave the same?
So, you can have security in your engine to prevent this kind of behavior. And B, that's something that the casino operator should also watch for. If the engine doesn't have this mechanic, the casino operator can still identify when doing game checks that the player is putting bets reverting, putting bets reverting. This would be visually, depending on the casino platforms.
You can spot it easily.
Yeah, I'd say if the casino staff is looking at it, they can understand it. Yes.
Let's talk about player engagement with jackpots. How do they compare with other promotional tools when it comes to encouraging longer sessions or more frequent play?
So we have many tools to engage players. We have jackpots, we have slots tournaments, we have races, we have cashbacks. The list is endless in our little iGaming toolbox, and we thought about that a lot. We've developed actually a slots tournament on the B2C operation we had before. And when I mean a slots tournament, I mean a real slots tournament, which means that each time that you have a win, we trick the API with the knowledge of the game provider. And for example, you have 100 euro, you bet 1 euro, you go to 99, you bet another euro, you go to 98 balance, you bet another euro, you win 10, and now you have -1, it goes 97 plus 10, you should have 107 balance. We keep the balance at 97, we hack the API, we return a fake balance, let's say, a not accurate balance, but we put this 10 in the leaderboard. Okay, that's how slots tournaments is done. Very few people are able to do that. I think the only company that has done that is Video Slots. Back in 2015 or 16, we did release our own one, and to be honest, we didn't push it back in time. But that's one of the mechanics that we have in toolbox. However, when we did our benchmark and when we ask our customers, Jackpot is the number one feature they're asking for. Why? Because it's both an acquisition tool and it's a retention tool. When players come on the website and they see the Jackpot ticker, there's these players that are gone, it's a group of players that are gone life changers. They're looking for this big win, okay? And of course, once they're engaged on the website and they see the ticker going on, they want to play the Jackpot. So that's why we have decided to, after trying to implement several of them and having to move forward because they were sold or because at the end of the day it didn't work out, we decided to develop our own one.
And you're dealing with diverse currencies and player preferences. Charlotte, how can jackpots be scaled effectively without losing brand identity or operational control?
In the case of our jackpot engine, the casino operator can create a jackpot that is shared on all his network of casinos. If he has, say, 10 operations, you'd have the possibility to create a jackpot that applies on all those 10 casinos, which can be interesting because then you have a bigger pool, you have more financing, let's say. We have the possibility to target specific markets or specific player segments. If you want to create a jackpot pool that's only for your VIPs, you can do this. We provide the widget customization. So we provide a few templates for the look and feel that players going to see in game. But the casino can also set their own design, and we help them with that, so that you can have a different layout depending on your casino. So each casino will have its own identity. The widget will look like whatever this casino wants it to look like. So if you have 3 brands, each widget's going to look different, and the content can also be different.
Are there specific markets where jackpots are more popular, or is it only about changing the brand identity to fit the culture or the preferences of that market?
I think it is mostly to change the brand identity, but there are also some markets that are a bit more, let's say...
What would be one market where jackpots are... where they have a lot of fans and people play a lot?
Generally, .com is very mature, let's say, and players, they are familiar with this kind of engagement tools, and they're sort of expecting this kind of engagement tools. Other markets, like for instance, regulated Brazil, players are much less familiar with this kind of tool. They're actually just about getting familiar with free spins. I mean, it's a little bit like time travel, because this is something that you needed to have the free spin 10 years ago in .com. Now, obviously, it's expected that you'd have free spins on everything. So I see this on regulated Brazil. But jackpots is something that, yes, they know jackpots from game providers, but I don't think players are expecting to have operator jackpots.
I see. My last question goes to the both of you. How do you see jackpots evolving in the coming years, and how is Alea preparing for that future?
So, I think you're going to see more and more jackpots that are going to be implemented. More and more companies are doing it. I mean, there's software providers, game studios that have always betted on jackpot, whether it's Net and Back in Time, EGT, EGT in Bulgaria. They have their own jackpot, which is implemented in all their slots. What we don't see enough, and what we're going to see now, and what Alea wants to participate to, it's what we call agnostic jackpots. Agnostic jackpots are operator jackpots. Also, Red Tiger Gaming. Remember, I think it was 2015, there was a Eurocup or something, and they developed this crazy jackpot mechanics where basically every day you could win a jackpot before it will reach 20,000 euros. or it was two conditions, or before 8 o'clock when the game was starting. So the jackpot would go up, and you could win it before 8 o'clock, 8 p.m., or before it reached 20K, okay? Yeah, and there was actually a lot of collusion, and players were coming at the last moment and triggered the jackpot at the end, like group of players. But Red Tiger developed a system that allowed to control that. And it's a type of system that we also are developing in order to counteract a collusion. And you were asking before about that. Now, what we see as a big trend is agnostic jackpot, is jackpot that are basically built by the operator in order to differentiate themselves from the competitors, in order to not have game studio driven jackpot, in order to have jackpot on all their slots, and also it will make that jackpot bigger, and they will also control the fact that the winner is going to be on their casino. The problem is that, let's say, take any software provider, let's not name anyone, and you're entering into your own private jackpot on this game provider, it's going to be small, because the bets are only placed on this game provider, and this game provider are probably 3 games that are making that are money makers, okay, where bets are happening. If you enter in the pool jackpot, the problem that you're going to have is that the jackpot will probably fall on someone else's casino. So you're funding the jackpot with your players. It's 5% of the bet. The revenue of the casino is around 3.5% of the bet. That's the GGR. So when a player places a bet, he places €1, and of this €1, you have 3.5 cents, 4 cents that goes to the casino, on which he has to pay the game provider. What happened in a jackpot game, there's 5 cents that are removed from the €1 bet from the beginning, and the player is playing just with 95 cents. And then on this 95 cents, you have 3.5 that goes to the casino. It's a huge tax, let's say, that's taken at the beginning. And on top of that, you have probably 10% management fees that goes on the jackpot. So also with the jackpot that we've seen and that we've benchmarked, we saw that the operators couldn't take a rake on the jackpot. So basically, they were funding the jackpot themselves. It's marketing money. They can't even make money on it. What we have changed in our jackpot is the ability for the operator to be able to take a rake. So here is the shift. The shift is to take a tool that was developed by game providers that was only working on their games and give it to the operator to be able to put it on all the games agnostically. So then, of course, your jackpot is much bigger, like a pool jackpot, without having the risk of going in another casino because it's on your casino, but on all your games. And with the full control of being able to say, okay, I'm going to take that amount of rake to feed the jackpot. I'm not going to be the one to pay the jackpot. I can also contribute if I want, okay? But players can contribute. And you know what? I'm going to segment it. I'm going to make a jackpot that's bigger for a VIP player, that's smaller for small players. But also I'm going to do something else. I'm going to contribute more to the jackpot of the VIP players, and I'm going to contribute less to the jackpot of small players. So all these mechanics, all these subtle mechanics, basically we've built them in order to give that power back to the operator. And it's not that we take it away from the game studio, because there's actually very few game studios that have their own jackpots. And what the game studios are doing when they put the jackpot, they're trying to silo the player on their own games. So they're taking basically the player and they try to lock that player into the ecosystem of their games on the casino, on the operator's website, which is a loss of control from the operator. And now we say to the operator, you know what? This is yours. You put it on all your games, and you don't have the game provider that's trying to take this player and keep them on their own slots because they have this jackpot, local jackpot, etc. No, you create your own jackpot, and that's I think the big shift.
Create your own jackpot.
Yes, exactly.
Charlotte, a word on the future of jackpots?
Just before a word on the future of jackpots, just to detail a little bit what you said, the operator can put the jackpot on all the games, but can also restrict the list of games that she wants the jackpot to be. So you can also push a certain content or several software providers if you wish to do so. Just wanted to point it out. On the future of jackpot, I would say, I think the same way, I think today casino operators are pulling back a little bit from using casino platforms. I have the feeling that a lot more operators are going for their own proprietary casinos, actually migrating out of platforms because I guess they've been using them for some time and they realize it's not the honeymoon anymore. And they make that choice of going in with their own solution. And that forces them to look for their own payment gateway, their own game gateway, and so on and so forth. And this is why we're getting new customers. That's also probably why there are more and more aggregators, game aggregators on the market. It's kind of booming at the moment. I think that the same casino operators that now are building their own proprietary casino platform, and they need to acquire services from payment, from games, and so on, they will also want to acquire jackpots, tournaments, and so on and so forth. Bonusing as well, but there are already lots of CRM tools on the market. So I think from that perspective, I agree that we should see a lot more jackpot solutions coming in the future.
Thank you both. It was a pleasure having you on the podcast.
Likewise.
Thank you for having us, Cyrielle.